The craft beer scene in South Florida is booming, and needless to say, it is a great time to be a brewer in Miami. Education has been an integral part of this phenomenon spreading across the nation. This is why we're here today at FIU's Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management's 3rd annual Brew Fest to see what local breweries are up to. Paula.
Nice to meet you.
So, before we go out to the fest, we decided to link up with Mr. Adam Fine, the godfather of South Florida's craft beer, which is a huge title to carry. Sir, how did you come about such entitlement and responsibility?
Well, it wasn't my intention when I started out. I was a home brewer, a professional brewer in the late 90s, started doing our research, started getting out into the market. The public out there was uneducated to what craft beer and what good beer was all about.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How's things at Riverside?
Awesome. Riverside's great. I'm so glad to be here in Miami for this FIU Brew Fest. Before any of these people, there was always Native Brewing. A lot of the people that are bona fide brewers now were home brewers at Riverside Market's homebrew competitions.
Yeah.
So for me, the evolution of beer, the world of craft expanding, it's about mom and pop, it's about friends, it's about great beer.
My number one goal when we started the business was to educate the public. So everything I've done over the years has been about getting that consumer one by one to appreciate the types of beers that we brew and that we enjoy.
Oh yeah? Awesome. Nice. Really nice.
So it's going, whether it's doing a beer festival or doing a tasting or doing a beer dinner, it's about educating that consumer to what good beer is all about.
What's up, man? How are you? Tell me a little bit about caramel cream. 5%?
One of the main things, one of the main focuses for us was not focusing on your average dive bar that was selling beer for $1 a pint. It was focusing on the more upscale places that were focused on the flavors of the food, the flavors of, of the world. And the restaurants were doing, spectacular things with their food, and pairing beer with the food became a big plus for us because you could see that beer really pair, a lot of these beers with their full flavors and interesting flavors would pair really well with the dining experience, and that helped turn the consumer onto it as well.
Biscayne Bay Brewing Company, take one. We want to highlight the flavors that represent Miami. For example, La Colada Coffee Porter, a beer made with Cuban coffee using La Carreta beans. We're working with chefs like Alberto Cabrera from Bread and Butter and Little Bread to make beers that he can serve in his restaurant that pair up with the flavors and the food that he's making that represent Miami. That's what we're all about. We're about Biscayne Bay, we're about Miami, and telling the story through our beer.
Most of the mainstream beers that were out there were really one type of beer, pale lager, one flavor profile. If that's all you were used to, when I brought you an oatmeal stout or a coffee porter or a, even a sour beer these days, you would just change the whole concept of what beer was about. So it was educating the consumer and getting the word out and building the relationships with the bars and restaurants and the retail establishments to show them that this is a great product and they should have it and it can sell. So we needed to get out there and sell the product.
What's going on, man?
What's going on?
How are you? Good to see you.
Doing all right.
What do you got? Yeah, what do you got?
We got our Floridian German-style Hefeweizen, no crust, peanut butter and jelly brown.
People started jumping on board with craft beer, and now craft beer is the hottest thing out there. And the thing has kind of come full circle. We see a lot of local breweries opening up, a lot of home brewers like me, like when I started up, that have their dream to start their own brewery. And and they're transitioning to big brewery systems. You've got Due South up in Boynton, you got Cigar City in Tampa, You've got Funky Buddha in Oakland Park, Wynwood down in the Wynwood district of Miami.
Miami was ripe for it. I mean, Miami was ripe for a craft brewery to come. I don't think it was just kind of, not necessarily that we did it was just kind of the timing was perfect.
And they're just growing it up and just brewing great beer and really growing the whole craft segment down here in South Florida. And it's prevalent across the industry of South Florida that people really are enjoying this. The consumer is jumping on board and really enjoying great tasting craft beer, and they've really come full circle for the brewing world.
David would come and help me brew out in the back alley, and we brewed a bunch of batches, a bunch of test batches, and then we brewed Pop's Porter was one of them. And the first time we brewed it, we were like, wow, this really tastes really good, man. This is pretty good.
MIA Brewing, take one. We're the third production brewery in Miami. We have a 20-barrel system, and we're just putting a lot of fun beers out there, a lot of classical recipes, some traditional beers, and obviously we're experimenting with as many things as we can.
How are you? See ya. Got a little Daniel Webster here.
Yeah, a little Daniel.
Tell me a little bit about it, man.
It's a collaboration we did with Hop and Frog,
Yeah?
Ohio.
Yeah?
It's an Imperial Porter aged in maple wood.
Oh, sounds delicious. Sounds really good. Cheers, man.
What's going on down here is even more exciting because while back when I started, most of Florida was considered a beer wasteland, it really has become a hotbed of activity for craft brewers. They're really setting their foot in the ground, setting the pace of the industry out there right now and really making a name for themselves, not only in Florida, but across the country.
Before this beautiful brew lab actually even existed, we brewed a lot of our test batches here. So it's kind of great to come back kind of full circle. You know, we're happy to be the first, but we definitely want to continue the tone of being, you know, one of the best, if not the best. Yeah, we're pumped. We're excited. 2015 will be a great year for Wynwood Brewing.
It's been a very educational day and we've had some fantastic craft beers. This is Paula Echevarria, Miami correspondent for Side Dish on Foodable TV. Drink local.